I did show in another video, check in the comment section, I will link it. This cordless electric drill, it's a Rigid brand, started to throw big sparks, even flame and smoke, like from burnt plastic. And I did explain how to lubricate this rear bearing, basically just 2 droplets, no more, engine oil, 2 droplets, keep it vertical like this, and just spin it at slow spin. Be careful not to touch with your finger any contacts. But the thing is that it also has a front bearing. So basically this is the motor, this part from here to here, and this is the transmission. And it also has a front bearing. This one was the problem for me because it's overheating and it's just the metal is melting basically. But if you want, you can also try to lubricate the front one. It will depend on the model. This one, the transmission is secured to the motor with only 2 sliding pins. Sometimes you will have 2 screws. Also notice this gear selector, speed selector, the way it works. Let me just try to remove it from there. Basically, it's lifted. So the way it works, it has like a notch, and there is a wire here. I call it a wire, it's not a wire, but and that thing just sit with that notch right there. It captures here, it doesn't hook, but just capture and will move back and forth. Now I do recommend strongly don't touch it, don't try to move it because it can disengage from the gears and you get in trouble. So don't touch this while putting the thing back in place. Remember also which way this button goes. And once you get it off like this, just in this case I need to push down those pins. Should be sliding relatively easily. Maybe use a tiny screwdriver if you feel stuck in there, but it should be just quite easy to remove from there. I did put some grease on them. Actually, I did remove the transmission. I did split open this transmission, the part from here to here. But it's not for everybody, and you risk not being able to put everything back in place correctly. There are videos on YouTube showing that, but again, if you are really paying attention, if you are used to remember where the things go, put them in order when you remove them on the right side, go ahead, but otherwise I don't recommend you try that. I did actually remove everything and try to re-grease everything. So that's how you split. Notice it has a gear here from the motor. You don't need to remove this plastic piece. This is the inside the transmission. Keep it straight like this because it can fall from there. It's not secure anymore. Actually, it's secured with those 2 sliding pins. They just pass through over this plate and keep it in place. So keep it, don't bend it. I don't mind mine because it's full of grease. It stays in place, but watch out for yours. When you put them back in place, let me just show you this. Mine has a big notch here, and there are other 3 notches around, but those are 3 small, which correspond with 3 small holes here, and the bigger one is at the top. But you get the idea. The wire sits at the top. Maybe put a mark on the motor to know which one, how it sits. And when you put it back in place, give me a second for this. It may feel like it doesn't want to go back in place. Is that the gear here? You may want to turn it a little bit. There are 4 little gears inside, so you may want perhaps to try to rotate here a little bit. Just be patient. See, now it doesn't go in, even though I match the big notch with the big hole. Again, don't touch the wire. I told you so. So maybe you want to rotate, just wiggle. It may take a few tries or more tries. Don't get stressed. It is going to match and go in there. Right now I'm filming, so it's not going to work, obviously. Anyhow, all this to expose the reason for the video. And again, go see maybe the first video, but it's the same idea. You have a gear here, and it's hidden a little bit, but right underneath the gear, you can see actually it's a bushing. So this shaft goes into a bushing. There's no bearing with bars, just simple bushings. So slide, maybe drop 2 droplets of oil maybe on the gear, and it's going to slide underneath. Keep it vertical, and up to you, but be careful not to shock yourself, get an electric shock. Maybe use a leather glove to keep the motor. You may get a shock, maybe even keeping the metal part, so keep a glove in your hand, keep the motor with a glove, and maybe try to slide the battery careful not to touch the contacts, and just give it small speed to make it spin slowly. And it's up to you how long you want to spin it. A few minutes, I would say, at least. I would say no more than 2 or 3 droplets of engine oil. No more than that, because then it gets to the brushes and you cause more problem than solve. See, this plate is coming off. Yeah, it's coming off because I think I did touch this the wire. Try to put it back in place. All this to say, perhaps for you, I will have to wiggle a little bit this plate to put it back in place. Let's toss the things. Yeah, just because you see, perhaps you can see it. It did slide here at the top. So I'm not sure you are going to see this live, but I'll have just to wiggle it a little bit, and you can actually remove this. You have plenty of little gears inside, but this one has to match. It has teeth also. This one goes it has notches, but it doesn't have a specific position for it, so don't be too stressed up. So yeah, I will have to shake it a little bit, maybe with a small screwdriver, rotate a little bit the gears to get the plate to go down just like it did now. So now it sits normally. That's, like I told you, be careful when you split it open. Take a look, take a picture, and try to keep it that way. And again, don't touch the wire because what happens is there is a plastic ring with a gear on it, and it has like a groove on the sides, and the wire goes into that groove on both sides, but mine was jumping on one side, so basically it was just escaping the wire. The wire just hooks that groove from both sides. One side will escape from there, and I had to unscrew here, not completely unscrew it, pull a little bit of the wire out, and it's difficult. Just try to make pressure here to sit that ring, the plastic ring inside. You may check out the videos, and then drop again that the wire to hook it at the correct position. It has to actually, you see, when it is at this point, it has to sit right at the bottom of this groove. So just I will show you this. This is the movement groove channel, whatever you call it, and the wire has to sit right at the bottom on both sides, or right at the top on both sides. If you see one at the bottom, the other in the middle, it got lost, it got disconnected, and you need to place it. That's why I'm saying for the 15th time, I think, try not to touch this wire. Let me, because the video is already long enough, let me just try to show you how to be patient and try to put it back in place. If it doesn't feel like it's engaging, basically you need to engage this gear into 4 little gears in there, and sometimes it goes the first try, other times, oh, there you go. So it got in there, it sits deep in there, it's there's no longer a gap in between, and yeah, I don't like to touch that wire. And then you just slide the 2 securing pins or securing screws, might be in other models, and it all goes back in place. Again, that transmission was fun to look at it. I did manage to open it and grease everything, and I think it's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. There were still some grease. I don't use this very like every day. I didn't use the drill that often, but there was some grease, but not everywhere. It's more like a long-term thing if you want. And let's see how to put this thing back in place. You need to check the case. It has like channels, so you need to get a little bit of an idea how it fits in there. That I call this wire sits on the top. Sorry for the camera angle, I cannot do more than this, but it sits on top. You can slide the button with the notch right by the wire. So I will basically put it by the wire and try to slide it underneath. That's how it stays in there. And when the motor is attached to the transmission, you can shift it, it's okay. So it should work. I put grease in there, so it's not smooth. Well, it's smooth, but the grease, it makes some resistance. Yeah, check the wires are correct. So that's how it goes. I was saying about the transmission. Sorry, I take you to a longer video than I was thinking in the beginning. I did open the transmission. Basically, you see on this model, all models different. From these two pins, you disconnect the two motor transmission, and there's also two pins, one here, one on the underneath. Same idea. Just push it. Sometimes it doesn't work on one side. Push it from the other side. You don't touch these screws, but you need to really kind of, as you take them apart, maybe from this end to this end, you need to, what I do is like I remove every plate and I will flip, I will not flip it, I will put it on the other side or the same side, just like everything will stay stuck up like this. I will take every part, put it on the correct side, all the gears, keep them together on the same side. And there are pins inside. There's about for about 10-12 gears, which seems to be of two different size. There's very tiny sliding pins, like rolls, cylinders if you want, about 6 of them, and there's about 12 bearing balls. There's no bearings, just balls. So you get the idea, it's all stuck together. Up to you if you are into this kind of thing and you're not afraid you won't be able to put it back correct in place, but it's not for everybody. Okay, thanks for watching.